Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your mid-May elemental relationship reading for the elemental energy of air. So, if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your charts, this message is for you. There's some goodies. If you're interested into the cards or decks I'm using, they're linked down below. There's also a link to a natal chart if you have never had yours done. It's a really good product, not sponsored or anything like that, just something that I really like, and it's a good tool to add to your arsenal of spiritual tools. With that, we'll get started with our reading. I like to look at the energies for the singles first, then those in a relationship. And we look at the general chakra energy first, and then kind of get some clarification from the tarot. So, we'll get started here for air singles. In air singles, you are number 13, your emotions. And I believe this is going to be your sacral chakra, but we'll check here in a second. With your emotions, there is this energy of conquering your shadow, conquering your darkness that's coming forward here. I'm also getting this energy that air singles, you've just got through, you either overcame something, you dealt with a situation, whether it was coming out of a toxic relationship or something along those lines, or you've overcome some form of emotional block that's opened you up to being able to receive a new relationship if you're interested, or you just cleared something out so you can actually feel better about yourself overall. But whatever's going on here for you, either way, whether it's clearing out the old relationship or clearing out the emotional block, you've overcome something here, air singles. So let's see what their book has to say, because there's a lot more with these cards than some of the other ones. You are in your second chakra, so it's your sacral chakra. And the deity here, this one, is Tara, who is an embodiment of the nature of emotions. She grants protection from fears and negative tendencies, easily rides and dives through the waves of the turbulent seas. She stands on a corpse, this guy down here, and letting us know that we are not the body. She is known for taking people across the vast seas of samsara, which is all of our worldly existence. We have some key words here for you. Pursuit of emotional fulfillment, searching for your preferences, balancing joy and sorrow, dualities such as attraction and avoidance, passion and dispassion, trust and jealousy. So she's helping you navigate through the chaos that life can bring. And air singles, you definitely have, they're saying that a lot of this is stuff you've already dealt with, but it's helped you come into an alignment, with yourself, and that's actually helped you grow in a way that you didn't expect when you started. Like, you first start off just trying to like sort out what was going on in your head, and now you're at a point where you're like, oh, that changed a lot of things. That wasn't just clearing a couple of things out, that was actually fixing some things. So air singles, you have come a long ways. And before we get into your tarot, they're wanting to bring forward that whether you're looking for someone or you're just kind of getting to know yourself a little bit better, what you've overcome has actually set the path ahead of you that allows you to walk between the dominant energies or the aggressive energies. You're able to walk a more balanced path, and this is something that, air, you love to look at the logic and reason of things, and that's what's coming forward with this with this card, is you are really about balancing things. But you also have the energy from the chakra, which is your sacral chakra. This is your first real connection to the outside world. This is where you start to experience joys and pleasures, but also pains and sorrows. And this is energy about the senses. You could call it the sensual chakra, if you will. So you've got this energy where you're waking up to something more. You're shifting your awareness into the physical realm more so than just being kind of like off to yourself. And it's allowing you to expand your horizons a little bit. So you've got a lot of energy moving here, air. Let's see what your tarot has to say. 10 of Spring. Ask for help from others, all work and no play, being weighed down by too many responsibilities. This is where you need to find that work-life balance. And the emotions card talks about, with Tara, she helps you balance opposites, work, home, social life to quiet time, all of these things. And what you've got going on right now, air singles, is you are putting so much effort into building a future via work and building that up, which is fine, and there's no arguments there, but you have actually started to negate the fact of you did all this work to prepare yourself and open yourself up to the option of a relationship, but now that you have that open space, you filled it with work. So you've got this little bit of a contrary thing going on where I want this thing, but I'm going to keep working until what? You wanted to make the space, which you did, and then you filled it immediately with work. So it's taking that time and kind of clearing that work back out. Like, go over there, stay in your lane. You have a 9 to 5. Leave me alone after that. You also have the 6 of Winter. Positive changes are on their way, a welcome relief from trouble, and traveling or relocating. This one is the reinforcement where you get to make the decision of what direction you're headed. With the positive changes or traveling, relocating, whichever they're talking here, it's really about relocating your time, reallocating your time. Work, you have 9 to 5. In the morning, that's prayer, meditation, that's getting myself ready for the day. The evening, that is doing something enjoyable, that is going to the gym, that is whatever it is, but you're building yourself up more through simple things. You don't have to make it complicated. And you're also giving yourself an outlet where you want to go and socialize, you have the option then. But if you fill all that time with too much work or too much of whatever, you kind of miss out on the reason that you did the processing that you've got to this point. So don't let the other things fill the void that you made, because you wanted to make space for a reason, air singles. And they're saying don't let that reason fade away just because, well, this other thing is here and it's saying it's important. Is it? Because, I mean, there's always going to be work somewhere. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to take it. There's always going to be a new distraction. It's one of those things where, how are you going to play this out? And it'll be interesting to see how you guys work with this energy. Before we hop into the couples energy, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. It's always fun to hear what other people think of the cards when we get them pulled. So, let's look at chakra energy for our air couples. We have... not that card. It's always interesting when you read intuitively because your guides are like, yep, that one, nope, not that one. So, air couples. Well, that's an interesting card. You're starting off with the root chakra, and it is the card of strength. I'll look in the book here in a second, but what's coming up right now is you're setting a new foundation. You are on a path of new beginnings. That is taking a great deal of power and strength, and the trust and the love that you have built with your partner, your companion, however that shows up, is actually the energy that is going to fuel this foundation, which is going to help stabilize this structure that you're building, this life together. And that's what they're saying, is this is such a powerful connection that you guys are building together. And when I look at the couples, I'm looking at the energy of the air specifically. So you might be the air energy, or it could be your partner, or it could be some balances going on in between. So take this how it resonates for you. And our card energy here is, we have Mars, which is technically fire, but Mars actually plays a role in the house as well, so we'll go with that. Although Mars is sometimes known as a warring god, he personifies the power to direct energy towards winning battles. Between wisdom and ego, exalted on earth for surmounting obstacles and fearlessly fulfilling his duties, he embodies discipline and knowledge to evolve from lower to higher. So, knowledge, discipline, wisdom, these are air qualities. So it's actually kind of makes a lot of sense to have have Mars attached to this particular card. Focused will is your key words here, finding your strength, resilience, action, processing your truth, a deep-rooted sense of commitment. A deep-rooted sense of commitment. air couples, you're in a commitment. So that actually definitely applies. And being structured, not everything has to be structured, but there are these things that help balance, especially when you're in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, business, or romantic. Getting things into a balanced state where one energy complements and actually uplifts the other, which allows this other energy to complement and uplift. So you're constantly in this state of lifting each other up. And when you're in those states, things get a little more interesting because you're not doing stuff because of, well, I want it. You're in a relationship. It's a we thing now. And when you start to look at it from that perspective, when you do stuff to uplift your partner and they are doing the same back, you are literally elevating your frequencies, your energies, and that will take this foundational root chakra energy and amplify it, and it will exalt it, it will lift it up. Because when you look at the concept of the chakras, you're starting from the most dense, and in some ways you can actually see it as the most physically large. But as you go up, they get lighter, and you can see them kind of pull in where they're still powerful, but they don't take as much physical material space. And as they go up, they get more powerful, but it's not from the density. They actually get lighter. So when you look at it from that perspective, you're setting up your foundation right now, air couples, and I don't care if you've been together for 50 years or 15 minutes. You're building the foundation with what you're doing. You're building your foundation for the future. So whatever your future looks like, that's where you're at with this. So your tarot is the King of Winter, knowledge, experience, fair-minded, unemotional. Unemotional probably fits more air, unfortunately, because you guys tend to be very logical, which is great, but great advice from some professional or objective public speaker. Unemotional relationships. So when we look at it from this perspective, the King of Winter actually is the divine masculine aspect of air. Knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded. And let's be honest here, between men and women, men tend to be a little bit more able to shut off those emotions. Not being sexist, it's kind of true, but is that always the healthiest thing? Not really. Because the King of Winter is saying getting advice from professionals, and if you're in a situation where things might be going, you might be going to a public speaking event. It doesn't mean you have to be the one talking. But getting this information from someone who's been there, done that, that can help guide, someone who can help support. And when you look at it from that, in that way, you're still gaining knowledge, but it's gaining knowledge to help open the emotions, to connect you more into yourself, which allows you to connect deeper with your partner. So the King of Winter is kind of this is where you're at, but there's ways to improve upon it. Yes, you've completed one aspect of your journey, but there's always something new to learn, and that's the energy that's coming up with that one. Your second card is the Six of Summer, children or childhood. Well, that could be interesting. See what your future holds. The return of people or romance from your past, remembering life events differently in a better or worse light than how they actually were. Air. I'm getting very strong sword energy with this card because you're cut away the illusions. Cut away the fallacies. Things were so much better back in the day, were they? Things were so much worse back in the this one time and on and on and on. But was that really what it was, or was that looking at it from a child's perspective? Because you were a child at the time. When you look at it from a different perspective and you take out the emotional aspect of the child looking at something from a bigger pattern, was it really that big of a deal? Probably not. Some cases, yes, but not always. And what the Six of Summer is saying is remember things as they actually were. And sometimes you have to peel away the emotions to be able to see what was going on underneath, and then all of a sudden it makes more sense. They're saying in this particular aspect, it could be shadow work that you're doing in addition to this, or even some past life type stuff, however, if you believe in that, because your past is influencing your current state, air couples. And the King of Winter is saying this is where that knowledge and that unemotional part can actually be beneficial, but don't stay there. The Six of Summer is actually saying look to your past. See what has hurt back in the day, things that were stirred things up, maybe put up some walls that no longer serve you. They're calling you, they're calling for a time of healing for our air couples. Blocks that may have been in the way, things that may be we're causing some conflict because there's been a lack of trust, a lack of understanding, and a lack of compassion in the relationship. And this isn't for everybody, obviously, and it doesn't have to go negative. It's just this is the energy that they're showing me right now. And when we look at it from that way, when we look to our past and we're able to see things a little bit more clearly because we've, grown up a couple of days here, and you can kind of sort through it and be like, okay, that actually didn't happen that way. Looking back now, when I take the emotions out of it, this is what was going on. And when you start to process that, it actually can unravel a situation that's moving forward, so that can take out a roadblock in the present by understanding your past in a different way, or a better way. We'll put it better way. And so what air is doing right now, the energy that's coming up for air is you're resetting. You have a new foundation. There's a new beginning being offered to you, air, which is huge. Air couples, you get a restart button to start push things and restart some stuff, fixing it into a higher state. Let me be clear here. But that means you can look to this past energy, the stuff that was going on back in the day, find the lesson out of it. And when you learn the lesson, it unravels the mess, allows the roadblock to be suddenly not there anymore. And that actually, that opens you up to being able to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I know who you are. I understand the hurt that went on in the past. Now it's time for us to move forward healed, because we have this other person in our life that we absolutely adore. So when we heal ourselves, it heals the relationship. By healing the relationship, we elevate the other person. So air, you have got this beautiful energy and this beautiful opportunity to reset some things, to get more aligned and connected into your partner using your natural gifts, especially that air intellect and logic and things. Be careful of the air-headed part, because you might get distracted by something if you go too far that direction, because that is the other side. But when you get connected in like that and you come together in logic, in wisdom, in reason, tying it to the love and compassion that you feel for your partner, air, you have got this amazing opportunity to start a new foundation. You have the strength to overcome obstacles in the past, because you're still here. You survived all of that. So you have the strength, and so does your partner, because they're able to stand with you through this. So as you go forward this month, remember all of the thorns and the roses from your history, and learn, incorporate how those taught you to be a better person and to be a bright and shining beacon of light, because it attracted your partner. So obviously there's a lot of good there. So if there's anything that's kind of dark coming up, sort that out, but do so using your natural talents. And if it's your partner going through it and they're kind of sorting things out and they're not really sure if you're still going to be there, support them. You're there in a relationship together. You guys are already in that situation, and like I said, the energy that's coming forward right now is there's a really strong connection. It's time to clear out some of the clutter, because it's about to go into a deeper bond, is what I'm hearing. So with that, I will let you guys go. Have an amazing month of May. Air singles, you got a little bit of cleaning to do, because you've already cleared the space and now you got stuff trying to invade. Push it back out. Air couples, whatever's going on, up good or bad, support each other, love each other, uplift each other in the brightest way possible. With that, I will let you go. Have a great month of May, and I will see you in the next video.